It's no surprise that the real estate market has been a roller coaster ride the last several years. But in today's video, I'm showing you exactly what's happening here in Utah with the real estate market, specifically Utah County. Utah County is one of the fastest growing areas here in the state of Utah, with the Silicon Slopes expanding so fast. But before we jump into the video, my name is Marvin Alvarado, the Sneakerhead Realtor here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I get calls and messages from people just like you every single day looking to make their move here to the state of Utah. And I love hearing from you guys. So if you're thinking about making a move here in the next 3 months, 9 months, or even a year from now, feel free to reach out to me. You can call me, text me, email me, do whatever you need to do to get a hold of me. All of my contact information is below. I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to helping you make your move to Utah as smooth as possible. Now, let's jump into the video. Let's jump right into it. So first off, this is going to be just around Utah County. I have another video linked down below if you're interested in knowing what happened or what's going on here in Salt Lake County. But first off, just a couple quick things, quick facts. The strongest price range for Utah County was between 200 and 300,000. That's up by 71%. So pretty interesting to see that. But first thing we're going to take a look at here today is the average sales price by property. So we're going to obviously look at properties overall and then single family versus townhome and condo. We're comparing to August of 2022 to August of 2023 this year. So last year, the average sales price in Utah County was $584,000. This year, in August of 2023, the average sales price is $608,000, so up by 4%. So when we look at single family homes, last year the average sales price was $571,000, and this year it's $715,000. So that's up over 6.5%. So pretty interesting to see that there's been such a such a big increase in the average sales price. Considering with there being high interest rates and the lack of inventory. We can see that there's been a 6.5% increase just in a year alone, especially with all the negative things going on about the real estate market on the news and the interest rates. But overall, basically what that's telling us is that that buyers are still out there taking advantage of the deals that are out there, taking advantage of the programs that are being offered by some of the new construction builders out there, with them offering incentives to buy down the interest rate. A lot of builders offering a lower interest rate, the 5.5% or so, depending on the builder. But a lot of builders are offering that incentive where they're knocking down the interest rate by 2 to 3%. But then when we look at condos, we have the average sales price last year at $418,000, and this year it's down to $403,000. So it's actually down 3.5%. So pretty interesting to see that has been such a big drop compared to the increase in single family homes. But overall, that's a lot of good information. Basically, like I said, what that's telling us is that buyers are out there taking advantage of the deals, and whether that be the lower interest rate or seller finance deals, or taking advantage of concessions being offered by the seller, buyers are out there taking advantage of that. So kind of like what I mentioned earlier here, the strongest price range was $200,000 to $300,000. When we compare it, from last year to this year, last year there was about 15 units that sold, and this year we're at 24 units for the month of August. But overall, the price range with the most amount of sales, or the most sales that are happening, are between the $300,000 and $500,000 price range, which last year we were at 412 sales for 2022, August of 2022, and then August of 2023, we're at 296%. So that's a little bit of a drop from last year, but overall, this was the highest price range, or the highest number of homes that sold in this price range. When we look at overall, when we look at single family homes, 300 to 500,000 was at 108. And then 500 to 700,000, which is at 187 for last month, for the month of August. So that's where we saw the biggest chunk of homes that sold in Utah County, was, as far as single family homes, was in the $300,000 to $500,000 price range. So pretty interesting to see that. And then we look at townhomes and condos. Obviously, this is a little bit different, right? They're going to be a little bit lower of a price range, but this is kind of like the same thing. The $300,000 to $500,000 price range. That's where the bulk of the sales came from, or that's where the bulk of the homes that sold are in, with 188 sales for the month of August. So pretty interesting to see that, like I said, but a lot of good information here, letting you know what's going on in the real estate market, with the lack of inventory and, higher interest rates. There's still a lot of homes that are moving, and there's still a lot of buyers out there taking advantage of the deals that are available. So let's take a look at this area. We'll look at the number of new listings. So last year, in August of 2022, we had just over 1,200 new listings. Where this year we're just over 1,100 listings. So a little bit of a drop, but not massive, right? Not a huge amount of difference when it comes to new listings. But there's a few things that are the reason for this is that there's a lot of people out there with a lower interest rate, that they're not ready to move up to a new home because they don't want to increase their payment with a higher interest rate. But come the time when interest rates do drop and people are needing to upgrade, or needing to move and have been holding off, we're going to see an increase on that, and we're also going to see an increase in the buyers, the amount of buyers in the market as well. So when we look at closed sales, August of 2022, there was 965 closed sales, and then last month, August 2023, there were 687 for a 28% decrease in closed sales. So pretty interesting to see that there's been a drop, but like I said, right, it's to be expected with the higher interest rates. It's not necessarily, interest rates are not necessarily a bad thing, right? If you've been on the sidelines for the last 4 years and you're in a position where you are able to buy a house, this is a really good opportunity for you and those buyers. Because like I mentioned, there's a lot of great opportunities, there's a lot of good deals that are being offered, whether those be seller finance deals, where you can get a lower interest rate, even in the 3 to 4% interest rate, which is it's huge right now, right? It's going to make a huge difference in your payment versus the 7 to 7.5%. So there's a seller finance, there's the sellers offering buy downs, where the seller's willing to contribute some money towards buying down your interest rate. And then there's also the new construction incentives from builders, where they're either offering to buy down your interest rate, or offering concessions or closing costs. But there's also the other builders who are offering those lower interest rates in the 5 to 5.5%, depending on the builder and depending on their preferred lender. But there's definitely, like I said, a lot of great opportunities for buyers out there right now. Overall, the Utah County, real estate market, is still seeing some really good numbers. They're not as high as they were in the last couple of years, but that's to be expected with the higher interest rates, right? But as I've mentioned in some of my other videos, is that there's been a lot of buyers that weren't able to buy a home, in 2020, 2021, due to the amount of competition that there was out there, not being able to bid, $50,000 to $100,000 over the asking price. So that put a lot of buyers, on the sidelines. And then those same buyers, right, they're in a position where they want to wait because of the interest rates. So those buyers that have been waiting on the sidelines for 2 to 4 years, once interest rates do drop, they're going to flood the market, and it's going to make a big difference in the real estate market. But if nobody has sat down, and told you, what it takes to buy a home in this market, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. I'm happy to guide you in the right direction for your your real estate needs or your home buying experience. But I hope this information is helpful to you to see, what's kind of going on in the real estate market here as of recently in the last month. But as always, feel free to reach out to me. All my contact information is below. You can call me, text me, email me. You can book a call with me, do whatever you need to do to get a hold of me. Other than that, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.